I'm coming to you today with a bit of breaking news. We have yet our second price change at Tesla for 2024. This one's really confusing. This is something we have not seen from Tesla before. So there's a lot to unpack here, and based on the things that we saw just last week, that combined with what's happening right now, I think that there's a lot to unpack here because there's some crazy good deals to be had out there. And although the Model 3 refresh is now out and we saw a price increase just a week ago, there are some incentives available from Tesla that are pretty good. And then today we just got another price change, and this time it's good news for Model Y customers. So with that, let's head over to the computer. Let's dive into the details and figure out what the heck is going on at Tesla. All right, so the first thing we're going to do here is head right over to Tesla's website, looking here at the Model Y. If we go into custom order, the first thing we're going to see is this new note here. We have a pricing update now through February 29th. There's $1,000 extra off of all Model Ys. And if we come down here to the purchase price, we can see indeed this was $43,990 just hours ago, and it's now $42,990. The same for the long range all-wheel drive, $47,990. Now, the performance has not changed at all, and I'll get into that in just a moment because there's something really strange going on with the Performance Model Y, but there's an extra $1,000 off right now. Nothing else has changed, and we can still see you can take delivery this quarter, and even with the Performance, you can still take delivery this quarter, apparently. So nothing else seems to be different here, but it's really strange. Now, there's also another update here that is kind of hidden in plain sight. If we look down here, this lease offer is no different than anything else that you've seen in the past. This does include some money down and doesn't necessarily include your taxes or other fees. So this is that advertised rate, $379, just like any other car that you'll see a commercial for. So $379, this used to be a $4,500 down payment, and now it's $2,500. So it's actually gone down $2,000 in the down payment required to get that $379 payment. So that's actually a pretty big change there as well. So $1,000 down in price, but $2,000 additional going towards the lease. I'm not saying it is or isn't a good idea, but if you're considering a lease, this is a pretty good deal. Now, if we go over to the Model 3, we can see that nothing else has changed here. Of course, just last week, we had a price increase on the long range all-wheel drive of $46,990. That lease payment starts at $456 a month, and the rear-wheel drive at $329 a month, but still $4,500 down payment. So it's really just the lease for the Model Y that's getting that extra $2,000 on the lease. You know, when I look over at inventory, this is where we're going to talk about the Performance Model Y because we didn't see a price change, and this page has been completely blank for over a week now. And with that, I have seen a car pop up from time to time over the last couple of weeks, but it's been a demo model only. There have been no Performance Model Ys, at least within 200 miles of my area, which is really interesting, suggesting that Tesla has really ramped down production of the Performance Model Y at this time. Of course, we're expecting a refresh that probably has something to do with it. But if you're looking for a Performance Model Y right now is not a great time to get one because it is basically made to order and you pay full price for that Model Y. So as we look at this through the year, here's our drop in price right here. We are actually down to some pretty historic levels. $48,990, which is what we were just at for the long range, is now $47,990. This is officially the lowest price the Tesla Model Y has ever been offered for. $47,990, and this is only good for another 19 days. Now, the nice thing about that is because since it qualifies for the tax credit, that $47,990 is really a $40,490. This is for everybody that qualifies under the income limits. So as long as your income does not exceed the max in place by the IRS, you will get the full $7,500 if you transfer that credit to Tesla. So that is amazing. That is an awesome deal. This is legitimately what you will get that car for, $40,490 for a long range all-wheel drive Model Y right now. And that compared to the updated price on the Model 3, It's about $6,500 less to get a Model Y long-range all-wheel drive versus a Model 3 long-range all-wheel drive. Now, after looking at our inventory, there's some interesting things here. I actually kept the previous month here as well, but basically in inventory, the cheapest rear-wheel drive Model Y is $41,270 compared to $40,880 last month. That brings us down to $33,770 is the price that you could get a rear-wheel drive Model Y in inventory in my area, or $38,090 after a pretty big discount to $45,590. But here's something really interesting and should be no surprise to you. The discount last week was $3,430. This week, the lowest priced non-demo model is $2,400 off. You basically lost $1,000 discount, but you're getting $1,000 more incentive. So in inventory, nothing changed essentially. It's the same price as it was before. You're actually losing out on whatever incentive was available then. But do keep in mind there's one more benefit here to talk about. If you have a Cybertruck on order, you received this text message not that long ago. So $1,000 off in addition. So what that means is if you were to order a Model Y today, depending on which model you get, you're under $40,000 for a long-range Model Y, not including any state or local tax incentives that you might have. So this is everybody in the US that has a Cybertruck order and qualifies for the $7,500 tax credit. Under $35,000 for the rear-wheel drive. So these are pretty awesome prices. Now there's one more thing to talk about, and that is inventory. I started looking at this again just last week, and we're starting to see Model S, Model X starting to creep up a little bit. Nothing too alarming here. Model 3 actually is even lower. It's about 200 in the entire country. Last week, it's 151 right now. No surprise there. This is going to stay low. It may have little jumps, but it'll stay low for quite a while. But last week, this was on the downward trend, and we're on our way right back up. This is Model Y inventory. The reason why that's important is because these incentives that we're seeing on the Model Y are continuing to increase, which is good. But if inventory continues to also go up, we are going to continue to see increases in these types of discounts on the Model Y. So something to keep a close eye on. Watch this inventory. We have not yet hit peak, but that was not that long ago where we had peak inventory for the Model Y. So this is a lot of inventory in the US that Tesla has to move by the end of March. Now, a piece of this could be building up inventory as they transition over to the refreshed Model Y, of course, which is their most popular model. So having inventory in place is going to be important so that there's not a disruption to sales. To top all of that off, we have a full self-driving transfer offer. So until the end of March, you can transfer your full self-driving to a new Tesla. You can also transfer unlimited supercharging. So if you have an older Tesla that had unlimited supercharging, you can also transfer that to a new Tesla through the end of March as well. We also have this $1,000 incentive on Cybertruck orders and this additional $1,000 off of Model Ys right now until the end of this month. Plus, if you use somebody's referral code, you'll get 3 months of full self-driving for free. On top of all of this, there are a ton of incentives. I've never seen this many different incentives available for this many vehicles at Tesla before, and this temporary discount where they're clearly stating not only is this discount right for this month, but it will be going back up $1,000 at the beginning of March. It's very interesting. I think that it's a smart move though, because we have Super Bowl this weekend, which is pretty awesome. Keep an eye on this. In the previous years, Elon Musk has commented that although they don't spend any money on advertising, and certainly not during the Super Bowl, all the other manufacturers who spend millions of dollars on advertising for the Super Bowl, Tesla actually gets quite an uptick in orders from people looking at the other cars and deciding, just get a Tesla if you're going to do this. So interesting that that is the way that this goes. So hopefully this year is another year just like that. I'm excited to see the numbers after Super Bowl, having Tesla not spent any money on advertising for Super Bowl. So with that, it's very unique, very different. Never seen anything quite like this from Tesla, but I think it's a sign of things to come. Tesla seems to be trying new things out with incentives, and that's a good thing for consumers. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Hope this was helpful. I can't wait to catch you on the next one.